2 years and 1 day after the terrifying attack on Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi's husband, the man convicted in the attack is sentenced to life in prison.
And we're hearing more details from Paul Pelosi in a statement to the judge, writing, quote, "When I awoke in a pool of my own blood, I had severe head, arm, and hand injuries. And it took many months to reclaim my home and well-being. I still keep away from media and video of the attack for my own peace of mind." Unquote. With that, we say good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Larry Beal.
And I'm Kristen Z. This is the second sentencing for David DePape. Today, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in connection with the brutal attack on October 28, 2022. He was already sentenced to 30 years on federal charges.
ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn joining us live in the newsroom now with the details. Suzanne?
So, Larry, Kristen, DePape will serve both sentences concurrently. Now, today we heard from DePape in court. He rambled for more than half an hour about his conspiracy theories, but he did not apologize to the Pelosi family during his statement.
This was like really a tragic end to a tragic story.
On this Tuesday, the judge sentenced David DePape to life in prison without the possibility of parole in connection with the brutal attack on Paul Pelosi October 28th, 2 years ago. Instead of showing remorse during his sentencing in state court, DePape rambled for more than 30 minutes about 9/11 being an inside job, saying that the 2020 election was stolen, among other things. Public defender Adam Lipson responded saying this.
This is a man who lived a very solitary life and got involved in a lot of online conspiracy theory and engagement farming.
Legal analyst Stephen Clark shared this observation.
Mr. DePape's statement at his sentencing hearing is going to be Exhibit A on appeal as to the mental health issues he faces. Clearly, he is someone that was delusional. He is someone that has become unsound mentally.
David DePape was convicted by a jury of aggravated kidnapping, residential burglary, false imprisonment, threatening a family member of a public official, and attempting to sway a witness by force or threat. During the trial, prosecutors argued that DePape targeted Nancy Pelosi because of her role as House Speaker at the time. Prosecutors say he attacked Pelosi's husband, Paul, with a hammer and plotted to interrogate the former House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. She was not home during the break-in. The Pelosi family released this statement after the judge announced DePape's punishment. Today's sentence of life without parole gives our pop some measure of legal justice, and we hope a message to others that political violence against elected officials or their family members will not be tolerated, minimized, or condoned. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins issued this statement today saying, quote, "I hope that today's sentencing, which comes almost 2 years to the day of the incident, provides some closure to Mr. Pelosi and his family and the American people who were horrified by Mr. DePape's grotesque violence." And we asked the public defender why DePape did not enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. He says the insanity defense did not apply in this case, but he did not offer any more details. The public defender says he plans to return to court and appealing the judge's ruling. Live in the newsroom, Suzanne Fawn, ABC 7 News.
Suzanne, thank you. In a letter to the judge ahead of sentencing, Paul Pelosi wrote, "The last peaceful sleep I had ended abruptly at 2 a.m. on October 28, 2022, when the defendant violently broke into my home, burst into my bedroom, and stood over my bed with a hammer and zip ties, demanding to see my wife, yelling, 'Where's Nancy?' Awakened by a large, violent man wielding a weapon and threatening to tie up my wife and take her out, I did all I could to calm him and save my own life. Not a day goes by that we do not think of this devastating assault, its trauma, or the possibility of future attacks." It is a powerful statement with details we have not heard until now. To read the full letter, go to abc7news.com.